Melitta coffee pouring demonstration. Take 47.
Go.
So first, we weigh the beans.
How much are you gonna have?
So we're going to use about a 12 to 1. So I'm going to do, to make it the math easy, I'm going to use 20 grams of coffee beans. Everything's in grams. 20. And I will grind them, and then I will show the. In the meantime, we're going to pull the coffee filters.
What grind do you use for the beans?
I will show you. Make sure the coffee's boiling.
The water, you mean?
Yeah, the water's boiling. See that kind of coarse, like moderate finely ground pepper. Not really fine, because if it's too fine, the water goes through too slowly and it does over extraction, is what they call it. If it's too coarse, it runs through really quickly and it's under extracted. Kind of obvious. I'm gonna make the coffee in here and then put it into a cup for aeration purposes. So one of the first steps that's really critical is to rinse the filter. So what this also does is the water, as it comes off the boil, you let this take some time, and that lets the water drop in temperature to the appropriate 195 to 205 degrees. As that washes through, I take the water out of that, pour it into the cup to sort of preheat the cup. And then I put the coffee in the filter. I make a little thing in the top of the filters to make a little basin to pour. Reset the tare. Scale is very important. And now, since I had 20 grams of coffee, I'm going to pour basically double that very slowly to wet the beans. Let the beans outgas is what's actually happening technically. So just very slowly to about 40 grams of water. Now, as I said, I'm going to do about 12 to 1. So if I have 20 grams of coffee, it'll be about 240 grams of water. So I've got 40, so I've got about 200 grams to go, and I'm going to roughly divide that into thirds. So I'm going to let this sit for maybe 30 seconds or so. And then I'm going to pour the first third of that, which is maybe 60 or 70 grams. Now the key here is I'm going to pour slowly in the center, around in a little circular pattern. So you can be as obsessive as you want, always watching the scale. And then let that drain down. You don't want to flood it up. If you fill it and let it run down, that's called permeative extraction. We're going to keep the bed low and settle down and let it mostly drain out. And then do it for the second third. Again, you don't pour to the edge of the coffee filter, because then the water just goes down the outside. It doesn't get into the coffee. You keep it in the middle and keep it down low and slow, and let this second piece and then the last piece will go up to the total amount that we're going to put of water, which I said about maybe 240 for what we're looking at. But we're not going to let that last piece drain all the way down. So when we get there, you'll see we're going to take it off. And this last bit of water, if you let it go down, it tends to basically make the coffee weak and over extracted. So there's my 240. And now I'm going to take this off and not let it go all the way down into the nice clean sink. This cup of water, pour out the water that was preheating the cup. And then you pour in here. You see that's from the making, it's got bubbles. There's bubbles in here. I like to do this 2 or 3 times. And then you have it. Perfection in a cup.
Voila. Cut.